I'll make it all come true.
Hey, it's Cordite's boyfriend here, back again with another brand new Call of Duty Mobile video. And in today's video, we're actually going to be looking at the top 5 best submachine guns. As you guys know, recently the fire got buffed, a Cordite was added, and a ton of guns got nerfed. So the top 5 SMGs is very, very different. Now, since this is only a top 5 SMG video, when it comes to my Fergometer, aka the score I give for the versatility and the effectiveness of its prime, it's purely in relation to the other SMGs in the SMG category. It's not in relation to all of the guns. That is for the top 5 best guns overall video. So before we get into it, make sure to hit that subscribe button because we are less than 120,000 subscribers away from 1 million subscribers. Yep, we are getting so close to 1 million. So make sure to hit that subscribe button. Help me out. And without further ado, let's get into the number 5 spot. So coming in at the number 5 spot, this gun used to be the king. It used to be the cutie thing. I used to love this gun. You could beam people basically across the map with this thing because the recoil, although it existed, it was nowhere near as bad as it is now. And we're talking about none other than, of course, the MSMC. Unfortunately, after its nerf, its time to kill dropped significantly. It went from low 200s to high 200s. The added recoil really played a part in why nobody uses it anymore, because even though it kills super fast close range, the recoil just makes it pretty ineffective. Up to 14 meters, 273 milliseconds is how long it will take to kill someone, which is actually really good. Once you hit the 15-meter mark, you're going straight up to 478 milliseconds time to kill, and it stays there throughout the entire ranges after. Damage per shot is actually pretty decent. 24 damage up to around 8 to 9 meters, which is great. Drops down to 21, then it goes to 16, 14, and right down to 13. For versatility, since we're only comparing it to other submachine guns, I would give it around a 6.5 out of 10. And then effectiveness of prime, obviously all the SMGs pretty much have the exact same effectiveness of prime except some of the more versatile ones, and for its prime I would give it a great 8.5 out of 10, which leads it into being 15 out of 20 on the Fergometer chart for submachine guns. Although this is a great gun, its time has come where it has been knocked off the throne and it is just no longer a top 3 submachine gun. One thing I will add though is it was great while it lasted. One thing I love about Call of Duty is they are always updating the game. So next month we could have this gun skyrocket back up to number 1, or it could go even further down the list. We just don't know. And I think that's what keeps Call of Duty Mobile fresh. The amount of content they add on a monthly basis and the balance updates that they have very frequently really give the game a fresh vibe every single month, which is absolutely fantastic. But anyway, enough of me bum licking COD Mobile. Let's get into the number 4 spot. All right, so coming in at the number 4 spot, this was difficult. I had to choose between 2 guns, which would be number 4, which would be number 3, because in my opinion, the number 1 and 2 spots are pretty clear favorites to be there. So coming in, number 4, it is the RUS. Now, before a lot of the guns were changed around, nerfed and buffed quite a bit, the RUS was one of the guns that a lot of professional players actually like to use in the small tournaments that have been going on inside of Call of Duty Mobile. It has great time to kill up until around the 25-meter range, starting off with a 318 millisecond time to kill right up until 20 meters. Then it goes to 397, and after that, it drops off to a 477 millisecond time to kill. The damage per shot is also really, really good. 24 up until around 14 to 15 meters. Then it goes up to 22 to 20. It's the 19 damage mark around the 20 meters up to 25, and then further drops off down to 16. So as you can tell from those statistics, this is one of the more versatile submachine guns on this list, which is why I would give it a versatility rating of 9 out of 10. It's really, really good, medium and close range. Comparatively speaking to other submachine guns, it's actually at the tippity top of the versatility chart, which is why I got the 9. Effectiveness of prime in relation to the other SMGs, I don't think that it's really that high. I would give it a solid 7 out of 10. which means that it gets a 16 out of 20 on the Fergometer submachine gun chart. It's a fantastic weapon, but I feel like number 3 on the list just teetered over the top and beat it by a little bit. So number 3 in the list is actually one of my favorite guns in the game. I don't use it that often. I usually use the Razorback version of it. It's of course the PDW. Now you may be thinking, Ferg, why is the Rust not above the PDW? Surely it is more versatile. You would be right. The Rust is more versatile. However, the PDW kills faster close range. Up to 5 meters, it does 27 damage per shot, which means you can kill in 4 bullets, not 5. Then going around to the 14 meter mark, it still does 22 damage. It hits the 20 damage per shot mark around 15 meters, then drops to 17, and furthermore goes down to 15. Time to kill is looking spicy with this weapon. 242 milliseconds. It's one of the fastest time to kills of any submachine gun in this game. 322 is the next time to kill, which is actually slightly above the Rust by about 4 milliseconds. It stays 322 for a prolonged period of time, then drops down to 403 and 483. Now, I know what you're thinking. Ferg, some of these stats are a little bit worse than the Rust. Of course, some of them are better, but there is a very thin line between which gun is the alpha out of being a versatile submachine gun between these two weapons. So when I was deciding, I had to look at the recoil patterns. As you can see right now, the recoil patterns for both the PDW and the RUS are on your screen. The PDW's recoil pattern is far more vertical than horizontal. Now, if you guys are experienced in Call of Duty Mobile, you'll know that vertical recoil is easier to control than horizontal, which is one of the reasons why I put it above the Rust. Its effectiveness of prime is actually very close range, which is exactly how you want to be using a submachine gun, which is another reason why I put it above the Rust. Its magazine size is also bigger than the Rust. That's another reason why I put it above that gun. In fact, it has 14 more bullets per magazine than the RUS has, which gives you 14 more chances to land that final shot. In fact, one of the only negatives that I could find when comparing it to the Rust was its long range time to kill and the reload speed. The reload speed is actually 0.15 of a second slower than the RUS. So for the PDW's versatility, I would actually give it an 8 because it is a very good close to medium range, which is what you want to be using your submachine gun for. Effectiveness of prime, which is that very close range encounter, I would have to give it a solid 9 out of 10, which gives it a score of 17 out of 20 on the Fergometer. So these two guns are actually fantastic, really good guns, great weapons. I believe that they could have been 3 or 4th either way around, just your personal opinion. However, number 2 is where this gets spicy. It gets juicy, it gets saucy in number 2. Now, the number 2 and 1 spot has completely different submachine guns. But in the way that you're meant to play a submachine gun is you take close range fights to try and outmaneuver your opponent and guarantee yourself the kill. One of the weapons on this list is extremely versatile, which made it really difficult for me to pick which gun is the best and which gun is number 2. Now, if this was a top 5 best weapons in the entirety of the game, bringing in all versatilities and all effectiveness of primes, these positions would be swapped. 100% they would be swapped. However, my favorite gun currently in the game is the Cordite, and it will be number 2. It is the number 2 spot on this list. With 300 ms time to kill up until close to 20 meters, dropping down to 375 up until 35 meters, this is the most versatile submachine gun in the game. 10 out of 10 for versatility. Drops down to 450 time to kill after that, which is still better than pretty much every other submachine gun. Its damage is 24 close range, dropping down to 22, going down to 19, 18, and then swiftly down to 16 for the majority of the long range. It has a large 40 magazine. 40 bullets per mag with this thing is phenomenal. It feels like you never run out of ammo when you're shooting at only 1 or 2 people, as long as you're obviously not a bot. For effectiveness of a prime, which I would say would be in the middle between close and medium, I would have to give it an 8 out of 10, which gives it a solid 18 out of 20 on the Fergometer for submachine guns. So some of you guys may already know what this gun is. I'm assuming that most of you guys do. The number 1 spot, it had to go to the Pharaoh. The way you use submachine guns is by moving around the map and causing people to take fights against you in close range encounters. Although the versatility of this gun does lack, you've got to understand that when it comes to close range gunfights where you're meant to be using submachine guns, this is the king. Up till around 6 to 7 meters, this thing is unbeatable. The only thing you're going to be able to beat this with is possibly a one tap with a shotgun or a no scope with a sniper. No other submachine gun has ever killed this fast inside of Call of Duty Mobile. 144 ms time to kill up until around 6 or 7 meters. Drops down to 216 up until around 10 meters. That is insane. 216 ms time to kill up until 10 meters. That's absurd. That's actually absurd. However, it does drop down to 371 when it goes up to 15 meters, which is actually a severe drop off. Goes to 443 for the rest of the ranges. Its damage per shot is 34 up until around 6 to 7 meters, which means that you can actually one burst with this gun by only hitting 3 of the 4 bullets in a burst when they're standing close to you. That's right, you don't even need to hit every single bullet in your burst. You just need to hit 3/4 of the bullets. 3 out of 4 of them. It then drops down to 26. However, that still means that you can one burst people with this gun in that range, because as you guys know, 4 times 26 is 104. You only have 100 damage. It's still a one burst up until 10 meters, which is insane. Drops down to 21 damage, goes down to 19, and then down to 17. Although its effectiveness of prime is phenomenal, its versatility does lack just because of the recoil that this gun actually has. However, for effectiveness of prime, I want to give it a 12 out of 10. Now let me make this understandable. It's the best close range SMG in the class, and it's the best close range gun that we have ever seen. 144 ms close range, 34 damage per shot. It's insane. It's unbelievable. It's deserving of getting 2 extra points for that reason alone. However, versatility, it's a 6. It's trash. Really long range, you're not going to be able to control the recoil. It's really, really hard. However, for the purpose of a submachine gun, those close range fights where you're trying to use your mobility to your advantage, use your movement to your advantage, and absolutely destroy opponents close range, this is the go-to gun. But like I said, the Cordite is the versatility king. It's the best SMG in terms of being able to kill people at any range. Nothing comes close in the SMG category except for maybe the RUS. It's pretty much like combining the GKS, the RUS, and the PDW, all of their perks into one SMG. That is the Cordite. But since we're comparing them and they are all SMGs, the Pharaoh had to be number 1. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Make sure to smash the like, comment down below what your top 5 SMGs are. A lot of the guns on this list could switch places just depending on your opinion, but I personally wanted to keep it as non-biased as possible and just look at the facts when comparing all the SMGs to each other and not to the rest of the guns inside of the game. Make sure to subscribe to get me to 1 million subscribers. I love y'all, and let's roll the outro. Bye!